Welcome back to the Eric Krown Crypto channel. Wishing you a happy early start to this nice Friday morning over here. We're wrapping up the week, baby. It's holiday season, and it's even Christmas, I think, tomorrow or the next day as well. So happy holidays to all of the people celebrating out there, and happy Friday to the non-celebrators as well. Anyways, other than that, I wanted to follow up on a few of the short-term time frame things that we were looking at over the past couple days here for Bitcoin, and then more importantly, some higher-term time frame stuff that is going to be confirmed as soon as today, actually, which, again, while no one's fucking paying attention, is likely to set a few major things in motion. So let's just jump right into it. First things first, I want to address yesterday's analysis though, because we were looking at a 30-minute Joule signal. That one obviously failed. And at the end of the day, that can obviously happen. We're going off statistics, we're going off probabilities here, not certainties. So the idea is that over time, well, they work out in our favor. And as you've seen on this channel, since I really started to hammer on these things a little bit more recently, out of the past couple weeks here, well, those have been working mostly in our favor. Anyways, in this case, we have another setup yet again. This is going to be on the hourly for the HPDR indicator. We do see that the hourly is closing above the top side of the blue 50% range historical highs. So once we see something like that, it is then time to go and cross-check for volatility declining close over closure on that closure where it actually closed above the top side of the blue 50% range highs. That's a long way of saying closed above here, and we see that volatility is contracting from the prior closure to the current closure, obviously. So in this case, that has led to a nice setup, which we can then go reference the statistical data over here. Let me just double check on the time frame. Yes, hourly time frame right here. And with that particular setup, out of 50 iterations, 36 played out in this way, which gives it a 72% strike rate, where on average price declined 2.61% after that. Again, that's an average. We can look at the first standard deviation here as well at about 1.25 all the way up to 4%. So this could be a little bit bigger than that, obviously, as well. And then, of course, on the losing side, because, out of 50 iterations, 14 were losers. Well, there was actually an opposite move, meaning in this case to the upside, to the tune of, on average, about 2.5%. So some pretty big numbers right here. And again, keep in mind that we're just talking about statistics, we're just talking about probabilities. But in this case, if we were to be looking at these numbers as relevant from that setup given, well, 2.5%, puts Bitcoin basically back down around the lows from earlier this week. Let me just pull back over here. That would be the 20th of December, so that'd be Tuesday. So that'd actually even be on the bottom side of the 50% range historical lows right here for the hourly currently. And if we were to see it actually fail, meaning that this one heads in the other direction to the upside, we'd be expecting on average about 2.5% gain to the upside, which let's just see where that'd be. I'm going to guess it's probably around 17,200. So let's just double check. Yeah, 17,250 or so. So that's essentially what I'm expecting over the course of the next day or two. Keep in mind, it is a holiday, and it is also, barely almost fucking traded right now, right? But at the end of the day, we can see that on average, the time that has been taken for these trades to play out on the winning side was about, let me make sure to show it right here. There we go. 18 and a half hours. And on the losing side, close to almost 30 hours. So we're looking at, a long day here. And seeing that it is a holiday season, that's probably gonna be even longer than that. And also it's a fucking weekend as well, basically, with Monday off as well. So all sorts of things to be aware of right now. And again, it's just a statistical setup, but what would be invalidation for this more importantly? Well, let's see, where are our range highs? Well, our range highs would be coming in from basically, let's just call it 17,000, round up right there. Above 17,000 bucks, that gets invalidated, and you actually should probably expect the next move up towards 17.2 or 17.250 if that does indeed happen, even on an hourly closing basis. Even like 16,950 probably going to be good enough for that. So even on a potential failure, there's a lot of, well, at least in my opinion, a lot of value in this data over here, because it gives us an idea of where things are likely to go if and when that does indeed happen from a statistical based narrative. Anyways, let's now jump into the, well, again, the lower term timeframes for CME chart over here. And what do we have? Well, we have a few things going on. First and foremost, again, extreme lows on volatility. So are we setting up for an actual break of this range today? Definitely possible for a little bit of a Santa Claus fuck you in the face, which is definitely possible here. And of course, again, it is a bit of a holiday. So it's like, does this play out today? Does this play out? I guess it would be Tuesday, because it's probably going to be trading Monday. So that's going to be a holiday. I don't know. I'd say that that'd be a good a good counterpoint to what I'm saying. But ultimately, if we're looking at the 4-hour jewel, it's continuing with that signal that we were looking at yesterday. So that again would imply that maybe we do see a bit of a short-term time frame pullback, but ultimately that probably gets picked up, and I would say that would be certainly on the bullish side, obviously. Not only that, but if we go and reference spot price action over here, we can see that there is some phantom regular bullish divergence building, if we can actually populate it, or maybe it's on CME. In fact, it probably is on CME, or maybe it's on none because I don't see it anywhere. Where the fuck was I getting that from earlier? It's in my notes here, but it's not available on the charts. Anyways, on the 6-hour time frame for CME, it should be known that the 6-hour jewel is also getting a pretty damn good signal there as well. So, if Bitcoin does pull back, I actually do think it's probably just going to be a pullback before another try higher. I still remain with a lot of the things that I've been saying. I think it's a lot more likely that Bitcoin tries to move to the upside from here than not. And of course, that'll be invalidated with the criteria that we overlaid before. But as of right now, when we're looking at especially higher term time frame closures, it's difficult for me to be looking for significantly new lows on price action until Bitcoin closes, at least a 12-hour, preferably a daily below. That's the lights out line, baby. Let me put on my drawing tools over here. Yeah, about 16,600 or so. Got pretty damn close yesterday, but did not close below. Anyways, yes, so we've gotten that. Basically the same ranges over here as well, which is rather nice for the confluence there. And then we should go and check on low-term time frame stochastic momentum. So checking it out over here, we can see that daily is actually crossing up from the same levels as crossed up on the September rally, on the November rally, and once again right here as well. It remains with upside momentum as long as Bitcoin's above 16,500. That is to say that if Bitcoin does get a daily closure below there, you're going to see a range break plus momentum turn to the downside. Probably going to be good enough to get it back down below $16,000. But I'm starting to see a lot more things here that do suggest that Bitcoin in the short term can pull back. I think the best case is based off of the HPDR indicator over here, but I do still think that probably gets picked up. Anyways, marching on to the 12-hour time frame, 12-hour stochastic momentum is to the upside as well, and we can see that it remains the upside as long as Bitcoin is above 16,500. So same pivot there basically. 6-hour time frame is going to be showing downside momentum as long as Bitcoin's below 16,900. Right now, Bitcoin is less than $100 below that level, so certainly not that far away. 4-hour time frame is also going to be down, I believe. No, it's actually freshly up as long as Bitcoin's above 16,650, and then the hourly is going to be showing downside pressure below 16,850. Again, Bitcoin's $25 away from that pivot as of right now, so we're not really getting any clean reads on this one. That's why I do think in the short term, today basically, probably going to see a bit of sideways here, maybe a bit of a pullback, something like this, and then try for an upside move, probably early next week if I had to guess. The reason why I'd be looking for a little bit of that downside move is based off of this indicator over here, again, the HPDR indicator. So if you do see it invalidated with an hourly closure, again, specifically above 16,950, but 17,000, just easy to say in this case, then probably gonna be looking at another few $100 rally back up to the 17.2, 17.3 region. And now I want to get into the high term time frame stuff because a lot of things can emerge from that as well. Again, today's the weekly closure for CME. Weekly CME stochastic momentum will continue to rise to the upside with an official cross the upside for the first time in months, actually, before the September rally with any sort of a closure today. Today is the weekly for CME above 15,800. I think that's pretty fucking good right there. Also, if we were to reference over here the weekly, we can see on the weekly jewel that it is going to be aligning for a pretty damn good signal relatively soon, if not maybe even this week. Very possible. I think it's a little more prominent on spot price action over here. They're kind of in the same region, more or less. But ultimately, that would be another good indication that maybe we see a short-term move to the downside, definitely possible, but ultimately I still stick with what I've been saying here. Bitcoin's a lot more likely to trade above the current highs before potentially going lower later. If Bitcoin is going to go lower later, I think that it happens in, around the end of Q1 of 2023. I do still think it's a lot more likely to try for an upside move. And then also, what else? Do I have any other notes here? I think that's actually pretty much it. So yeah, we can leave things off on that note. I did also put into the mix here the 2-day chart, but we don't really have an update for this one. 2-day stochastic momentum remains to the upside. So again, the probabilities are still in favor of upside, but we don't have a confirmation of actual volatility expansion just yet. So it's potential, but not really super helpful right now. So maybe that's far as off next week. Other than that, though, I think that's a good place to be leaving things off. Again, keep in mind those major pivots. If you are in a lower term time frame, because I haven't really addressed that too much, big problems obviously below yesterday's low on a closing basis, or about 16,500 on CME. Until then, I think that we're probably going to be going sideways for the holiday. All right, cool. That's going to be it for today. As always, take care, much love, and see you hopefully soon.